Hey, welcome to Whiskey Madness. I'm Cliff, and this is my madness. Today I've got a good one for you. We've been doing bourbons a lot lately, and I thought I would shift gears and put a little tournament together for scotches. And no place better to start than, I think, predominantly Speyside here. There might be a variation in here somewhere. We'll check that out in a minute and see. I just grabbed these because they're all 12-year-old single malts, and a couple of them are in here for a reason. The other two are just picked. So let's see where we go from here. The first one I want to introduce today is the Glenfiddich 12. This is the standard 12. This bottle is brand new, unopened. And this actually is what started my Scotch journey. I started collecting Scotches way before I started collecting bourbons. And this was the catalyst of it all. This literally is the Jack Daniels of Scotches. This is the old number 7 of Scotches. Nobody sells more Scotch than Glenfiddich 12 globally. It's an amazing 12-year Scotch, and I think it's going to fare very well today. But I'm not sure it's going to win. It was my favorite for a long time. It's my sentimental favorite still. Next on the list is one we've had on the channel before. This is Dalmore's 12. I've got quite a few Dalmores up in my collection, and Dalmore 12 was one that about, I don't know, early in my collecting, I had some friends over and we had a little tournament. We put 8 bottles up against each other, and there were some really expensive scotches in that selection, and this one, not one of the more expensive ones. This one finished 3rd in that competition. So today, I think it stands a great chance of faring very, very well. Next on the list is Aultmore of the Foggy Moss. This is a Speyside single malt, also 12 years old. As you can see, unopened. I have never had this before. I have no idea what it's going to taste like. I have nothing to say about it except I saw it on the shelf. I knew I didn't have it. I picked it up, and very much looking forward to giving it a shot today and seeing how it fares. Next on the list is the Singleton. This is distilled by Glenfiddich. This is also a single malt Scotch. The label tells you right up front it's light, fruity, and creamy. Frankly, that is why I put it in this competition. I thought it would, if that holds true, which I have had some, so I can tell you that it mostly holds true for me. But if it holds up today, it should be an interesting contrast among the 4 competitors that we have. So the next step is to kind of put these in a seating and tell you who's going to be going up against each other. So today, my number 1 seed is going to be Glenfiddich 12, and my number 2 seed is going to be the Dalmore. The number 3 seed, because I've had it, and I know how it tastes, at least to the best of my recollection, will be the Singleton. And the number 4 seed will be the Aultmore 12. So, let's line them up. We'll crack them open, and we will put number 3 seed versus the number 2 seed, and we will see where this little competition takes us. Oh, wow. I really didn't even have to put my nose near the bottle to get a really great aroma on the nose. Dalmore 12. And we'll check it out here. First, starting with the color. Yeah, and as I expected, the Dalmore is just much darker, more almost a motor oil. Looks like a Pennzoil 30 weight to me. And this is a little more golden, kind of a light gold, a medium gold color. Color again doesn't usually have much of an effect in terms of taste, but personal appeal to me, the darker whiskeys, whether it be bourbon or Scotch, really appeals to me visually. Doesn't have any weight on who wins this tournament or not. I just find it interesting and something to consider. The nose, however, is part of the competition. And again, may not be the driving factor, but all things equal, sometimes the nose will change my mind on which one probably is going to win. So let's dive into it. We're going to start off with the Singleton. It is light. It is fruity. It does have a bit of a medicinal, not heavy, but a lightly medicinal nose to it. Interesting. So let's take a sip and see how the thing tastes. Oh, yeah. So this is really good. I'm going to tell you a story. It just reminded me. I actually have had this for a little while, and I happened to have it sitting out one day when had some family members come over, and they saw it and were kind of interested in it. And I was at the time just thinking about starting a channel similar to this. It was going to be called Whiskey Wisdom, and where I just basically, pour some whiskey and try to see if any wisdom actually comes out. Kind of a loose premise for the channel, but nonetheless, they were like, "Well, show us what you got. Talk a little bit about this one." And I had never had it, and I stumbled through. I stumbled through my first, I'll call it a pilot episode, and needless to say, it didn't go over very well with my family members. They were not particularly impressed, and but I did share a little sip with them, and I don't know. I think they liked it. I really don't remember. I was more interested in the fact that my whiskey wisdom idea didn't seem to match what I had to offer, so we pivoted. It is definitely light and fruity. The creamy, I'm having a little harder time picking up on, but what I can compare it to is the coating of the tongue, the kind of a thicker coating on the tongue when it resides there. It's not particularly hot. It's 80 proof, 40% alcohol by volume. It's smooth. The finish is not particularly long. It's definitely not much of a burn on the palate or in the throat. But it's flavorful. It's interesting. And it's definitely something that I think a beginner, someone without a particularly experienced palate for scotches would perhaps like. It might even convert a bourbon drinker to at least say, yeah, there's some scotch that I like. It's sweet like that. Not as sweet as most bourbons are, but it is sweet and it's flavorful. I like it, and it's kind of mild, so I think that it would lend itself to pretty well to a new Scotch drinker. Now, the Dalmore 12 is, to me, it's one that you have to, if you have multiple bottles of Scotch on your shelf, anywhere from 2 to 5, this needs to be one of the bottles. It's not super expensive, and the performance is always there. It's just always good. But it does have a bit of a different flavor profile and a different nose. This is deep plum, almost prune on the nose. It's sweet on the nose. It's not alcohol prominent at all. Just going to try to find real quick. Oh, also 40% alcohol by volume or 80 proof. So expect a mild palate and a mild burn on the swallow as well. This is a very distinctive nose. I strongly expect, having not had this one yet, I strongly suspect that this will be the most highly characterized nose of them all. It's very different. Not in a bad way, just different. So initially on the palate, no burn, just very relaxing on the tongue, soothing even. This is one that you would want to sip. This is one you would want to sip slow, have some nice music on. Probably nothing that you're going to want to sing, but something that you just want to sit there and listen to some nice jazz or maybe some classical piano. It has an air of sophistication about it that I'm not sure it actually deserves. I think it outperforms its price tag. It's complex. And it's kind of like, and I may have said this before, I'm not sure, but it's kind of like, to me, the Dr. Pepper of scotches. There's a lot of different flavors going on there, and they all kind of work together to give it a unique nose and a unique taste on the palate. So let's just finish this up and we'll pick a winner here. The palate on the second sip really started to warm up a little bit. Still very light warmth. It's nothing uncomfortable in any way, shape, or form. It is a very unique flavor profile. I think from a complexity standpoint, from just how interesting it is on the nose and on the palate, we have to go with the Dalmore as the winner today. But I don't want to push this one off too far. This is actually really good, and I think that for the right person, maybe a bourbon drinker who is looking to expand their palate just a little bit and give a fair shot to trying a Scotch, this would probably be a good place to start. But today it's going to finish second to this one. I would not say for a brand new Scotch drinker, this would be my first choice. But for someone who is expanding their palate a little bit, this is an excellent, excellent choice. Today it is our winner of the first bracket. So next, let's move on to the Aultmore. The Aultmore 12 and the Glenfiddich 12. Well, there's the... So let's get a little pour of the Aultmore 12. Definitely the lightest of the three. That have been poured so far. And all right. Amazing. So we'll get our pour of Glenfiddich. Another very light. A light Scotch. So one of the characteristics fairly common in Speyside Scotches is this lighter, fruitier, sometimes more floral whiskey. And it's not 100% true, as we've already talked about with Dalmore, but it is a fairly common theme. As far as the color goes, these are a lot closer, but the Aultmore is just very lightly yellow, where this one is a more standard or typical light golden yellow color. So as we usually do, we will start with our lowest seed and take the Aultmore to the nose. Wow. So when you take it in on the nose, you want to have your mouth open just slightly, and you want to kind of breathe in both. It gives you just a little more broad sense for what you're smelling, and I don't know, that's what they say to do. Wow. This is really good. It does not smell, or it doesn't particularly smell smoky or peaty heavily. There's a little bit of peat present, but it's not overwhelming. Again, light, fruity. Let's see if there's any notes listed here. No, the one thing I did want to mention is this is actually one of the few Scotches that's triple distilled, like an Irish whiskey is triple distilled. Scotches are twice distilled. Bourbons are single distilled. And this one is 3 times distilled, which generally makes for a much smoother product. And we'll see if that holds true. I haven't, like I said, haven't ever had this one. But it should be interesting. The legs are modestly quick down the side of the glass. And the nose is light and kind of delightful. There's not a ton happening here. It's not overwhelming by any stretch. It's just light and fruity and inviting. This one's 46% alcohol by volume, 92 proof. Definitely feel the warmth more than the first two. A good bit more, actually. It is so sweet and pleasant and warm, caressing. It's fruity. And by fruity, I mean like sweet fruits, like berries and maybe a crisp, sweet apple. But there's also a bit of the peatiness that comes through on the palate. The finish was warm and rather lengthy all the way into my chest. Let's go ahead and finish this last sip and see how it. That is fantastic. I cannot believe how good that is. I mean, I can believe it, but I can't believe I haven't ever opened this bottle before. It's more what I can't believe. That is fantastic. So, this one I would take this and I would pour this in a neat, Glencairn glass and just sip this. This is freaking beautiful. It is so good. And it makes me a little bit nervous because Old Faithful here is going to definitely have a challenging run. This is surprisingly good. I want to pour more. But it's time to move on. So here we go. It's crisp, it's clean looking. The legs are thicker and slower down the edge of the cup. Oh, wow. This nose is sweet and floral. like wildflowers floral. This is not roses or heavily aromatic flowers. This is light. Walk through, springtime fields with flowers, wildflowers up to your knees, and just catching that warm breeze, pulling all of that up. That is what this glass is. It's reminding me why I started this Scotch journey all those years ago. Cheers. Back to 80 proof. So the warmth, the fire that I was feeling in this one has definitely been dialed back a little bit, more along the lines over here. But wow, that is so good. Glenfiddich is hands down my favorite distillery, Scotch distillery, that is. And I love their products. By and large, I'd be hard pressed to tell you one. Even some of the experimental stuff that I thought was fringe experimental, I still liked. But their core product, this standard 12, is unbelievable. This is the Jack Daniels, the Jameson equivalent in the Scotch world, period, hands down. And that dram is exactly evidence of why. It's flavorful, it's fruity, it's easy to drink. And that is unbelievably good. I've never done this before. I've thought it, but I've never said it. I wish that I had seeded these different so that these two could end up in the finals together. They are both better than 2 or 3. The only reason this was a 4th seed, was because I'd never had it before. I didn't know where to put it. This was a number 1 for a good reason. And as I sit here right now, I need to taste them both again in order to make an appropriate, fair pick. I'm just going to pour a small amount. This competition is really that close. And going to be extremely difficult for me to pick a winner. I'm going to have to, and I'll do it within the next 30 seconds, I promise. Okay, so on the nose, although this is a very, very close second. On the palate, man, it's a perfect blend of warmth, initial sweetness, and a little bit of peat on the end. And that peatiness, that smokiness that you taste is in no way off-putting. It is very complimentary. The finish on this one is it's there. It's long, it lingers. It's a little warmer. Wow. I absolutely cannot believe what a close competition this is. I mean, it's stunning to me. I don't know if this is coming across in the video or not, But I'm absolutely blown away by the symmetry, yet the subtle differences here are they're there. The differences are there, but that the sweetness is with both of them. And a Scotch to me does not have to be sweet to be great. But I'm comparing two sweet Scotches, so this is my sentimental favorite. But I'm going with the Aultmore, and I'm shocked that I'm picking this. Not because I'm not shocked because I'm not shocked because I picked it. I'm shocked because I did not expect it to even be close. I didn't know what to expect, but this is awesome. For a standard 12-year Scotch product, this is it. And there's such a large and diverse distillery. Being able to lay claim to something like the quality of this standard 12 and have it as the basis for everything you do is it's unmatched. It's unbelievable. It's unmatched. I'm going to have to do more research into Aultmore. I'm going to have to find some more products that they do, that they produce. But this 12, I know today because I just picked it, but I think on any given day, I would pick it again over this guy. I may try that out again in a month or two. We'll see. Maybe something changes. Maybe it's just, the palate of the day. But today it is an upset, number 4 over number 1, and going against our number 2 seed that knocked off the Singleton. So let's get right into this championship round. Let's dig in. Get us a little pour of the Dalmore. Wow, look at that color. That color is just rich and amazing. And let's get a little more of the Aultmore in the glass. And it's obvious. The color is just not even close. Just so light. It's almost champagne colored. And maybe a little darker than the typical brut champagne. And this could be pretty much any bourbon I've got back there on the shelf behind me. It's dark, it's rich. It's almost syrupy. So as we do, we will start with the lower of the seeds. This was our number 4 seed. This was our number 2 seed. So we'll start with number 4. Wow. It's fruity. It is so inviting. I should have poured, well up into the neck of the glass. Kidding. Mm. So I just kind of let it caress my entire tongue. So I wanted to feel, excuse me, I wanted to feel what it does to my tongue just sitting on the palate. And here, I'll describe it the best way I can. The tip of my tongue and the center of my tongue working backward all just reach out and grab that sweetness and hold on to it. The sides of my tongue and underneath my tongue have a nice little warmth going on right now. It's just refreshing, but wow. I wouldn't mix this with anything ever. Drink this in a neat pour 100% of the time. No ice. Do not dilute this. This is fantastic. Absolutely as is. I'm going to finish this last sip. Actually, I'm going to leave it just in case we need to come back. A much heavier, more expressive nose. The scents are just spinning around like a tornado. There's so many. I can't even really put my finger on them. I don't think I have the words to describe this nose. It's very different. It's rich. It's thick. It's a little nutty, a little syrupy, but not a sweet syrup, like a maple. This is more like a sorghum or molassesy syrup on the nose. Molasses, probably. Very, very intriguing. Again, this is not one I would ever mix with anything. It's classy, it's sophisticated. It's warm, but it's not as warm as the Aultmore, meaning the burn is very mild. Anyone who drank this would call it smooth. But the fruits are hard to really describe. It is kind of pruny. It's dark plum, black plum, overripe red plum, juicy, makes your mouth water kind of feel to it. I feel like that was a little bit of a loud swallow. You might have heard that on the mic. Maybe we'll edit it out. We'll see. Okay. I absolutely have a winner. And without any further ado, there is your winner. Aultmore 12, Aultmore of the Foggy Moss. This is a Speyside single malt Scotch. It's 12 years old. It's 92 proof. It's phenomenal. There's not a thing in the world wrong with the Dalmore 12. It's a staple on my shelf. I always have a bottle. The moment this one gets low, I'll be buying another. But now that I know what's in this bottle, I do not expect it to last long. Holy moly. This is a fantastic Scotch. This is one that I would say a rookie could definitely enjoy this. The number one thing I hear from people who are not Scotch drinkers but bourbon drinkers is, yeah, I've tried them all and I just don't like any of them. And every single time I say the same thing, and most of them argue with me, but that's okay. I tell them they haven't tried them all, and until they do, they need to kind of rethink or at least hold in check that particular statement that you've tried them all and you don't like them. I kind of get you have a flavor profile, a preference, but I will tell you, if you like the sweetness of bourbon, this will get you. If you like the smoothness of some of the better bourbons out there, the drinkability, this one will get you. If you're not a big fan of the smoke, the peat, this one will probably win you over. There is a tiny, tiny touch of the peat on the swallow, on the finish, but it is so mild. It really just gives it character, and that's about it. But I am telling you today, I am a little shocked at this outcome, but I could not be more pleased. This was a fantastic competition. This is a fantastic Scotch, and I highly recommend you get a bottle. I will definitely be looking for other Aultmore products, and I can't wait to bring them to you. Wow. So that's it, folks. There's our winner, number 1. Number 2, number 3, and number 4 by way of this tournament. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The channel's brand new. I really appreciate you watching these videos. I'm having a blast making them. We're going to get better at the production and all of that. But I hope you enjoy it. If you have some suggestions on how we can make these videos better, drop me a note in the comments. I don't get many, so if I get any from you at all, I guarantee you I will read it. Hey, even if it's harsh, I can take it. At least I think I can. We'll see how that goes. But I do appreciate you being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications so that whenever I put a video out there, you'll know it. Thanks again, and God bless.